Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. For, I don't know, a couple of weeks now, there has been a lot of videos discussing open carry. And I thought I would make a video on open carry. I have an opinion on it. May be different than some, may be the same as others, I don't know. But at any rate, I wanted to also remind everybody, and whatever your opinion is that we have to be open-minded in order to learn. Okay, so try to remember that. Open carry. I don't know why it is so controversial. I happen to live in a state that allows open carry. I happen to live in a municipality that has laws that are a couple hundred years old protecting open carry, even though today's residents of this municipality would probably love to change that. So, is open carry a good idea or a bad idea? Well, I think sometimes both. Okay, I think you can come up with scenarios or situations where one or the other has its merits. All right. Now, I think a lot of people, maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. I was raised, my father had the opinion, is he wanted to have the gun that no one else knew that he had. And he felt that that gave him an advantage, okay? Whether or not to deploy the gun, and if so, when he wanted to deploy that gun, he felt that that gave him an advantage. I agree with my father on that. One of the few things that we were 100% agreed upon. But anyway, I feel like that's an advantage. But yet there are times that I do open carry. You know, I just made a video about a 44 Magnum pistol that I had, and the fact that it would make a fine barbecue gun. Excuse me. Well, the barbecue gun concept comes from having outdoor events like pig pickings and things, and cookouts and things of that nature, where many people wore guns, okay, and they wore them openly, and the whole purpose was to wear them openly because they wanted to display their firearm, okay, and often it was a thing done, at least here in the South, and when I was a young man it was more prevalent than I see it today, but you know, folks would actually show off their gun, you know, and it was a big deal. I have often wore guns to such events openly, and I did not feel uncomfortable in doing so. Some folks who promote open carry suggest that the mere sight of the gun may deter criminal activity or an attack. And I think that has some merit, I really do. But it may not. It may actually invite an attack. Now, I just saw a video from TheHossUSMC last night, and we had sort of this conversation, but I don't think I communicated my point of view very well. And that is, over the years I've read lots of articles by a man named Masad Ayoub, and I hope I'm saying his name right. At any rate, some of those articles have been about policemen having their guns used against them, right? The police force, our law enforcement officers, right, are probably the largest group of individuals that open carry. They pretty much do that as part of their job, right? And security officers, things of that nature. Well, of course, he being Hoss, replied, well, police officers often engage with criminals and tangle with them, so forth and so on. Very true, but that wasn't the point that I was trying to make. And that's where I think that my communication skills suffered, okay? And that is that these particular articles that I was talking about was actually showing cases where the police officer himself was targeted for the attack in order to gain possession of the firearm. All right, and from my way of thinking, if they would attack a uniformed police officer to get his firearm, then they would probably see a civilian carrying openly as a much easier target. And that is something that you need to consider. Okay? So I kind of sort of fall in between. I think we should have the right to open carry. And those folks who want to open carry should be able to. Okay? Another thing that some of the folks who promote open carry say is that folks that conceal carry just don't want to have to deal with people staring at them or maybe asking them questions, things of that nature about firearms, and making other people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, well, you know what? That may be true for some folks. I don't know. I can only speak for myself as far as my opinion goes, and that is that I am not uncomfortable with people staring at me or asking me questions about firearms. As a matter of fact, I usually enjoy the engagement, all right, because I consider it as an opportunity to talk to people about firearms and the safe practice and responsibility for owning a firearm and carrying a firearm for defense. All right, I look forward to those conversations. And as far as people staring at me, hey, my wife tells me that people stare at me all the time, probably because I'm 6'7", I'm 270 pounds. So when I walk into a restaurant or a store or what have you, for whatever reason, people want to look at the tall guy. Okay, so I don't even notice that much. It's just been something that has always happened. Or it may be because I'm so devilishly handsome. At any rate, no, that's never been an issue for me. Nor is talking about firearms has ever been an issue to me. I welcome the questions. I welcome folks challenging my positions on that. Well, at any rate, TheHossUSMC is going to have a blog TV show tonight talking about open carry. And I would ask you folks to take part in that, especially if you are interested in the conversation. I'm sure no matter which side of the opinion on open carry you are, you will enjoy the conversation and probably, like myself, will learn something about the conversation. So I believe the time for his blog TV show is 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm sure you can go to his channel and get the details for that. It should be good. I look forward to it. I look forward to it. In this situation, I'm sort of in the middle of the road. When I go hunting, camping, things of that nature, I open carry. When I go to the store while I'm up in the hills or whatever camping, I usually just get in the truck and go to the store. I don't take my gun off. I leave it and I open carry it. Sometimes that's welcomed, sometimes it's not. And believe it or not, you'll find out, or at least in my experience, that it's the small town that makes more of an issue of it than the big town. And the reason that I say that is I walked into a general store one time. I was hunting, I was in my camo and had my blaze orange hat on and stuff, and I go in there because I forgot some things like salt, pepper, hot sauce, stuff like that. And I was walking up and down the aisles, and I had a sidearm on, openly carrying. There was 3 gentlemen kind of leaning up against the counter when I walked in. 2 of those gentlemen were open carrying, and the guy behind the counter took a shotgun out and he laid it on the counter right after I came in the door. And I got the things I needed. I came up to the counter and paid for them, and then I was kind of standing there talking with the folks that were standing there. And I said, "Hey, when I came in, why'd you take your shotgun out?" He goes, "I don't know you. Plain and simple. You know, I've never been robbed by somebody who lives here. It's always been some outsider." Good point. Good point. Well, so everybody has different experiences that they draw upon for their opinions. Some folks don't have too much experience. I have carried a firearm for, I think, 25 years now. I've had a permit to carry concealed for that long. And there have been times that I have open carried, and there has been times that I have not. I would say that generally, the majority of the time, I prefer to concealed carry, and as I said before, it's because I do believe that it gives me an advantage. Alright, so that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll enjoy the comments, of course, that people leave about this subject. And remember, shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.